Wow. That's all I can really say is, wow. Some people are just freaking amazing. Let me put this to my viewers. What happens if someone would make a quote speaking about you, no matter who you are, black, white, gay, straight, Christian, pagan, doesn't matter, regarding your religion, your sexual preference, your creed, your race, um, your financial status, your sex, your hair color, your eye color, no matter what it is, what would you do if someone had made a quotation referring to you and people like you? Quote, I think we've been extremely tolerant in allowing them to live wherever they choose. And no, this was not back in the 60s or in the 50s. This was in 2008. And this was in the United States. Who were they speaking about? Can you guess? Okay, how about this? I will tell you this person's name. Her name is Julaine Appling, Appling, or as I would like to call her, Julaine Appling. She is the executive director of the Wisconsin Family Council. And who is she speaking to? Probably one of the last and very few groups that it's perfectly acceptable to discriminate against nowadays, and that is homosexuals. Let me repeat that quote back to you again. I think we've been extremely tolerant in allowing them to live wherever they choose. What the fuck? I didn't know that I was being allowed to live where I choose. I didn't know that half my neighbors knew I was gay. And I'd like to see them try to do something when they find out. But what she's recommending is that they start enforcing some laws because of the recent thing that has happened in California. You see, California has now made legal marriage, and gays are flocking there. It's like a fucking mecca now. You know, unlike other states that have allowed gay marriage, they've only allowed gay marriage to people who have residency there. So if you're not a resident and you really wanted to get married there, you had to move there and live there for a specified amount of time to become a resident. Then once you get married, you must stay married in that state. Well, California is a little different. California is making it legal for not only their residents to get married, but other residents as well to get married. So people are leaving their state and going to California to get married. Well, this is not a concept that is extremely foreign. People leave states all the time to get married. Maybe most of their family is in another state. So they'll get married in another state. And of course, what most people do is they go off to Vegas to get married for quick, cheapy marriages. Some people go off to other states to get married because some states allow blood tests and some states allow you to get married without blood tests and others don't. Most of them, you need a blood test. Some people don't want to use a blood test, so they'll go to another state where it's not mandatory. But nowhere and never has anyone ever said, okay, well, our law is that you have to have a blood test to get married. Now, since you decided to sit there and skip over that law by going to the next state over there, well then, I'm sorry, your marriage, you may be married over there in, I don't know, Wisconsin, but you're not married here. How stupid would that be? Nobody has ever had their marriage not recognized in a state because they were not married in that state. How many people got married in Las Vegas, Nevada? How many people would be appalled if their marriage was not recognized in that state, or you had to pay a fine and serve jail time in order for it to be recognized. You would be in a fucking rage. Oh, yes, there would be protests in the streets. Do you know that she's actually asking that if Wisconsin residents go over to California to get married and they are homosexual couples, when they come back, that they should be fined up to $10,000 and, not or, and up to 9 months in prison. Not, oh, I'm sorry, not even jail. Prison. 9 months. Wow. I always hear people going, I am sick and tired of people wanting special rights. Gays don't want their rights, they want special rights. Well, now you're giving us special rights. You're giving us special rights because you are allowing us to live where we choose to live, at least so far. You wouldn't even think about saying something like that to heterosexuals. Oh, and you're also giving us special rights because if we decide to go over to California and marry the person that we love, that's not going to affect you in any way, shape, or form, especially if you've never met me and never will. You're going to give me the special right of paying up to $9,000 in, no, up to $10,000 in fines? Well, that's a special right because, or at least a special punishment. If we don't deserve special rights, why do we deserve special punishments? You don't have to pay $10,000, up to $10,000 when you get married to someone that you love, and then spend 9 months in prison. You know, I agree that when you go to prison for whatever reason, you've paid your time and your debt to society. And people should leave you alone and let you get the jobs that you want to get, be able to make a living so they don't have to go back to the life of crime they had. But in this case, what good would it do? I mean, it's not like you're going to get divorced. After that 9 months in prison and $10,000 fine, you're still going to be married. Is that going to make it any more or less acceptable? Well, is it? This is just fucking ridiculous. What are we going to do about it, people? Blessed be.